Well. You were greedy and stupid, putting on the Super Creek banner despite having the rate up of Tazuna, and now you got yourself the MLP Tazuna with no Super Creek. People already told you she's useless, she gets power crap in 2 months, she doesn't even make good Umas because she has no stats. Take a look at this ghost ship over here. How can you ever hope to get stats like this unless you're running the full 6 stat card? Is it over? Is it time to reroll? Is it time to give up? Wrong! Because this ghost ship was raised up straight by Mami Tazuna herself. Hey guys, UmaPokke here, and as a wise man once said, a good workman never blames his tools, and a good Tolena never blames his pools. Yes, MLB Super Creek would have been great. Yes, Tazuna is basically over once the next scenario comes around with Rika, but if you find yourself in a position like my own account, please. Oh my fuck! Then you gotta just work with what the Uma gods have given to you, and boy oh boy is Tazuna a hella underappreciated card. Think about it, you get to go out with the finest woman in umamusume, perhaps even the only woman in the entire Umaverse, assuming she's, not an Uma in disguise. The best part, she is pretty misunderstood and overhated for the wrong reasons, which means you can be a shining knight that flexes on all of the other noob casual trainers. If you think your Tazuna is completely useless, then worry not, because today's we will break down on exactly how can you make use of the most evil card in umamusume. Also, if you guys like this format for support cards or Uma, drop a like and comment below on what would you guys like to see next, and thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. So first of all, check out our 2 guides over here for the Hoyo-verse guide as well as the 150-page summary to get the fundamentals of umamusume, and then come back into this video again, because not understanding how stats work in umamusume is one of the biggest sources of misinformation which can ruin your runs in your careers. Now, don't worry, go ahead, watch them, I won't go anywhere, so yep. Now that you're done and understand how stats work, let's break down exactly how Tazuna herself works. Tazuna, as well as any other friendship cards, are essentially supports for your support decks. We can break down her abilities into the active as well as the passive. For a passive, it is most notable from the quality of life upgrades to your existing training with decreased energy consumption and failure rate. You also unlock increased training effectiveness at level 35 or limit break 1, which makes Tazuna a lot stronger. I will say that before level 35, it's actually not worth it to consider running Tazuna, because this is where it can make up for the loss of a stat card over here, and this effect amplifies drastically with multiple rainbows. Other passives like friendship gauge, event effectiveness, event recovery are all not that important, mainly for the active effect in the next portion. The initial speed at level 45 goes from 15 to 30, but that is also not that important. So the Tazuna's most important passive is gonna be, once again, energy consumption, reduced failure rate, as well as training effectiveness. For the active portion, this is where you get to literally go out on a date with Tazuna, which is definitely a much better recreation activity than going out with your Umas, no NTR intended. They are Umas, right? So stop. Enough. Once you train with Tazuna for the very first time, this is a free recreation event, and the friendship will go up just like any other normal support cards. The recreation event itself only unlocks at friendship level 3 or the level where the bar turns green, and you always pick the top option, which instantly gives you 14 energy, 6 wisdom, and 1 mood. One problem is, even if you hit a level 3 friendship, sometimes Tazuna just doesn't really like you today. Maybe you abuse Haru Urara too much, nobody knows the reason, so she will just never appear until Tazuna feels like it, but you bare minimum have to hit the friendship level 3, so getting this to level 3 as fast as possible would maximize the chances on going out with Tazuna before the year ends. And unlocking the recreation activity before junior year ends is also extremely important, because it gives a bonus event that guarantees 14 energy, 19 speed, 1 mood, and a level 3 tail hell high, which, as you know by now, is a highly sought after skill in both CM as well as Team Trials. The recreation event chain itself gives a tons of moods up, energy, guaranteed recovery from illnesses. Refer to this chart over here for your reference, with higher limit breaks and levels in your Tazuna giving slightly more energy and SP, but the base stats are all essentially going to be the same, as well as the main usage for all of these events are going to be sorted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. For level 1, you're just going to use this anytime once recreation is unlocked, giving you a decent amount of energy as well as a mood up, and every single one of these effects over here, they're going to be judged at level 35. For level 2 as well as level 4 event, you want to hold on to this until you eventually actually get an illness, which you can instantly cure running Tazuna card itself. Hold on to this until the end of senior year for event level 2, and for level 4, you can hold on to this until the end of senior year summer, right? And then for level 3, you always play the first option, and the second option is basically 12 stamina and guts, which is definitely not going to be worth it. And the very last option gives you a whopping 50 energy, 38 skill points, and 2 mood increase on top of focus and concentration. Do also know that focus and concentration are extremely powerful skills for team trials because they are guaranteed skill procs for bonus points. Generally speaking, what I like to do is hold on to event level 2 at the classic year summer towards the end, and if no illnesses ever pops up, you can just go ahead and use it for a free heal. And then I'll hold on to event level 4 all the way towards the last 2 to 3 turns towards the end of Arima Kinan, and I'm gonna be able to guarantee a great amount of energy once you unlock the level 5. So with that being established, how exactly do you even use this Tazuna card? At a glance, people might think that Tazuna is completely useless in the Ace run because you're aiming for high rolls in each career, and if something goes wrong, you simply run your career again and again and again and again and again until the perfect run where nothing goes wrong and all the stars align. You never get a mood down, you always nail all your trainings, no such thing as a training failure despite 20% chance, you land every single triple rainbow, quarter rainbow, etc, etc. However, on the complete opposite, Tazuna actually allows you as a trainer to take even riskier plays that you will otherwise not do, since she's essentially acting as a safety net in case something ever goes wrong with her event cards. Think of Tazuna as buying insurance for your career. Now that you have bought your insurance, you are more incentivized to take those 20% or even 30% failure rates with double or triple rainbow, which can theoretically push your stats even higher compared to the times you go ahead without insurance. Tazuna's may not give you the highest possible stat in a single run every single time, but it makes every single run you do far more comfortable with a less degree of instability, especially if you use moody horses like Top Gun and Rise Shower. And speaking of the highest possible stat in a single run, this clip over here is actually the perfect illustration of why we are going to be running Tazuna for our Ace training, because she actually gives you a ridiculous amount of stats over the course of the career. Running Tazuna here instead of a normal card grants us 3 main effects during this rainbow training. First of which, we get the failure protection as well as reduced energy consumption, which lowers the original failure's chance to a mere 18% for what would otherwise be a usually over 30% failure in this example. Without Tazuna, this would have almost 100% been a skip for most trainers, especially in the Ace run, because a break training is at least a 2-turn wastage. Sometimes if you get really injured, it usually ranges from orange and above failures. You also have a tremendous mood down and illness, which can be run ending, and Tazuna drastically prevents all that and allows you to take these risks, which can in turn give you even more stats. Next, because we have the added benefits of Tazuna's training effectiveness at Limit Break 1 as well as 2 for 5 and 10% respectively, this brings our original training value to an even higher current 46 and 25 speed and power split, giving this training session even more stats on top of the double rainbow, which can be further amplified if triple or even quadra rainbow. Hitting a quadra speed rainbow of Tazuna in the summer is literally enough to make me, but okay, never mind, you know what, come back to the video. This is also one of where the biggest misconception lies with Tazuna, where running her gives you less stack than a deck without Tazuna. As mentioned earlier, the increased training effectiveness as well as the reduced energy cost are all indirectly giving you additional stats for your run, and the more Tazuna appears in your training with other supports, the more value you get. Because you get this additional 30% energy reduction, you can try to treat it as getting an extra turn every 4 times you run Tazuna, which over the course of the career, the more times Tazuna runs into the rest of your training cards, the more value you're getting out of this as an entirety. Lastly, in the event we really do fail, we have access to Tazuna's Rare Creation 2 as well as Rare Creation 4 events to instantly heal us from any illnesses and mood ups. If it is a minor failure event, which is the get well soon, choosing the second option can also give you a chance to gain Practice Perfect, so you might as well gamble and let Tazuna take care of the mood down as well as the Practice Poor debuff. Generally speaking, if you are going to be using Tazuna as a whole, because you are more inclined to take these risks as well as getting even more stats from your training, Tazuna is actually really not that far off from running a 6-stat support card deck. Now with that being established, when exactly do you use Tazuna? So assuming you have what it takes to raise her up, then she will have her best use at least bare minimum Limit Break 1, where she unlocks training effectiveness. Even better if you hit Limit Break 2, which maximizes it to 10%. Limit Break 3 as well as the Limit Break 4 are frankly speaking not that important. It's a little bit like E1 versus E2 trippy, but it's still good to have if you're committed into using Tazuna. She's one of those few SSR cards that has incredible value without max Limit Break, and if you have committed into the Super Quick banner and picked up 2 or 3 copies of Tazuna, then she's definitely viable for all of your ace training runs. Regarding the Umas that she'll be training with, Tazuna is generally only used during your ace runs like I mentioned, since spark run decks are more involved with skills as well as hidden procs while hitting the bare minimum stats to pass the career. Taking a look at this gold ship as an example, the RNG of Tazuna boils down to where she feels like going during her training, just like in real life asking where does her girlfriend want to eat and whether she wants to eat anything, and you say Jollibee, she doesn't want to say eat Jollibee, and you go to KFC, don't want to eat KFC. Okay, essentially, ideally, you want to keep your deck within 2 support types, either speed stamina, speed wit, or maybe speed power. This is to compound the likelihood of a double or triple friendship training, and now you just pray to God that Tazuna feels like landing on one of those rainbow trainings. It is not too ideal to run too many different types of supports, which can reduce each individual friendship training stacking, since rainbow trainings, they all stack with one another. My personal deck went for a 4x speed 1 stamina in Tazuna, relying on the higher probability of multiple rainbow speeds to get more value. I was able to hit 800 stamina because Gold Ship has an inherent built-in 20% stamina value, and getting my single super crit to slam rainbow stamina training during summer alongside some power and stamina sparks was enough to hit the 800 stamina requirements I'm looking for this champion speed. Also a bonus, if you are wondering why I'm only aiming for 800 speed on Gold Ship, and closers generally have the lower stamina consumption compared to, for example, Page Chasers, and you should be behind Evil Nature's stamina debuffs, which only targets Umas in front of her on top of having Gold Ship's double gold recovery. Outside of the stat improvements, you also want to try to take the riskier plays like I've mentioned just now, because hey, you have already bought your insurance with you this career, you might as well take full advantage of it and make the bolder moves and get rewarded for it. And if you don't get rewarded and you get punished, well, at least the insurance from Tazuna can cover it. Be more comfortable doing those 20% faders, especially on double or triple rainbows, and eventually you'll find yourself getting the ideal A stats really not too far off from the Torrena that did not bring Tazuna because they're more cautious. Now, of course, Tazuna is not to say you're guaranteed a perfect run every single time, because like I've mentioned, she also has the RNG of landing where the rainbow trainings are, as well as sometimes you just keep failing and getting the mood debuffs even beyond Tazuna's toolkits. Not getting Tazuna tail held high by classic year because you did not go with her before in the junior years because you don't have enough risk or whatever. That is also really bad because you ideally definitely want to get tail held high every single run. Normal RNG like your friend gauge in the junior year, winning G1s for skills, getting rainbows themselves, it will still be completely RNG dependent with or without Tazuna. This is an example of a Tazuna run that didn't go too well, having too low of a stamina despite me running double stamina and triple speed because we failed quite a few times, especially at the start. All that being said, you would have generally spent less TP than the guy without Tazuna hunting for your perfect ace Uma because your runs are less chaotic and more chance of balancing out the random events, making Tazuna an excellent choice for casual players not willing to gamble on their one good run for their Umas or simply having hours and hours and hours slamming more than 10 careers runs in a single day. The best example I can think of is a Tazuna player spending 10 careers to get an ace Uma of roughly maybe 90 to 95% of the quality compared to a non-Tazuna players spending 50 career runs for their perfect ace Uma. Personally, I absolutely love using Tazuna in my ace decks, and for those days when I'm way too busy with other things and I cannot commit multiple hours farming for aces, which is what got me to this gold ship over here. Even as of right now, I have been using Tazuna for pretty much every single one of my ace trading because by the time this video goes up, Champions Meet should be coming very soon, if not it has already begun, so I really do not have that much time stemming too many trainings, and also to be completely honest, I'm just so used to get the comfort that Tazuna has provided that I can't see myself taking her away without a friendship card. As of now, my best gold ship for my 6 stat deck or something like this is still pretty good, but it's ironic how my Tazuna deck gold ship can actually win this non-Tazuna deck gold ship despite trying far more for the latter because I did not have Tazuna. So with that, we have come to the end of this video where we talk about basically how exactly to use Tazuna for training kits. Let me know what you guys think of her, and if you guys did actually manage to get her because you put so many copies of her during Super Crease banner, or if you guys have a couple of copies lying around, definitely consider using her for your careers because she's definitely not completely useless. The main issue with Tazuna right now, which is also a very valid criticism, is that after around 2 to 3 months where we get the next scenario, or if you're gonna be in the right shower as well as the next Rika Friendship Cup, then Tazuna's value really falls off extremely hard. So within the next couple of months before those scenarios actually exist, if you have Tazuna, definitely make use of her. But if you do not have Tazuna, you honestly don't really miss out too much because the next Friendship Cup is going to become even better, right? Let me know how your Champions Meet training has been going. All the best for your Uma career runs, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.